Nepal is a landlocked country in South Asia. It is bordered by the People's Republic of China to the north and by India to the south, east and west. The Himalaya mountain range runs across Nepal's northern and western parts, and 8 of the world's 10 highest mountains, including the highest, Mount Everest, lie within its borders. Kathmandu is the capital and the largest city of Nepal. The city is situated in Kathmandu Valley, which also contains 2 other cities, Patan and Bhaktapur. The city stands at an elevation of approximately 1,370 metres and is inhabited by about 700,000 people. Kathmandu is the most developed city in Nepal. This particular area, best known as Kathmandu Durbar Square, lies in the heart of the city. Most of the temples here, both Hindu and Buddhist, are built in the pagoda style, embellished with intricately carved exteriors. Built in the late 17th century, this temple is one of the most impressive. Its 9-step brick base gives it the size which dominates the skyline of the square. The wooden doorways, pillars, windows and struts are beautifully carved. There are images of Hindu deities both inside and outside the shrine. The palace complex was the royal Nepalese residence until the 19th century and is the site of important ceremonies, such as the coronation of the Nepalese monarch. The palace is decorated with elaborately carved wooden windows and panels. The entire palace complex here is named after a monkey god called Hanuman. One can see a huge stone statue of Hanuman painted all red right next to the main entrance of the palace. Hanuman here is regarded as a powerful protector of the entire Durbar Square. Hanuman Palace complex consists of a huge royal square, imposing a tremendous variety of temples dedicated to different Hindu gods and goddesses. Most of the buildings we see here date from the 15th to the 18th century. This huge stone image of Bhairav represents deity Shiva in his destructive manifestation. It is undated, but was set in its current location by King Pratap Malla after it was found in a field north of the city. This is the most famous Bhairav, and it was used by the government as a place for people to swear the truth. Though decreased from its original size and attractiveness from its earlier 17th century architecture, the Kathmandu Durbar Square still displays an ancient surrounding that spans around 5 acres of land. It has palaces, temples, quadrangles, courtyards, ponds, and images that were brought together over 3 centuries. The Durbar Square, protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is the social, religious and urban focal point of the city. It is also a busy trading area, with taxis, fruit sellers, rickshaw drivers, tourist guides and souvenir sellers all waiting for business.
Basically, we provide you the accommodation in the lodge, and in the lodge you'll get a room with the bed and a pillow, but you have to have your own sleeping bags. But it's still, some of the lodges, they have, you have a common bathrooms you have to share with other peoples, and some guest houses, the hot showers are available, but sometimes you have to pay additional. And the food, basically you will eat as per the menu, whatever they have a menu in the tea houses, so you will eat as per the menu. And During the trek, yes, you can drink as much water you can because it will help you to avoid the altitude sickness, and also it's good for you for rehydrations. But mineral water is terribly expensive, so try to get the boiled water or some other water with some the water pills. So you should not compete with the other people, but you should have your own rhythm. And as long as you have a willing power that you can do it, you will do it.
This trek takes us from the village of Lukla, which is at a modest height of 2,860 metres, on a 10-day walk to the base camp of Mount Everest at an elevation of 5,400 metres. The journey begins with a 40-minute flight from Kathmandu to Lukla. For many people, this will be the smallest plane they have ever travelled on and an exciting start to the journey. This flight takes us to the Khumbu region of Nepal. The planes flying to Lukla from Kathmandu have no radar system on board, so they cannot take off until they are told that the weather conditions are suitable where we will be landing. Because of this, long delays occur regularly. Lining the streets of Lukla, it is common to see porters offering their services, but most people visiting the area would have these organised by now. Considering the remote location, the village and the skies above it can be surprisingly busy. In between the planes carrying tourists, you can see army and rescue helicopters at the airport. Lukla has a variety of shops and lodges where one can have basic Western-style meals and pick up any last-minute items for trekking or climbing ahead. There are many restaurants in Lukla, so you can have a meal before you begin the first day's trekking. A typical menu in Lukla will have a large variety of foods like fried rice, noodles, soup, pizza, momos, breakfast cereals, hot and cold drinks, and most junk foods you can get at home. People usually try to avoid eating meat from here onwards, as there is no cold storage and the possibility of a sick stomach is very high. The journey from Lukla to Pakding should take between 2 to 3 hours, going at a slow and steady pace. The trail starts with a gentle climb up the mountainside on the left bank of the Dukosi River, which provides a lovely view for most of today's walking. There is a well-worn path with steps leading you both upwards and down, but by the time you reach Pakding, you will be almost 200 metres lower than you were at Lukla. There is a large amount of accommodation available at Pakding. The Namaste Lodge is a 3-storey building with a large dining room, a full bar and restaurant, and a cyber cafe. The quality is very basic. The rooms come with a bed, a mattress and one pillow. There are no electrical sockets and toilets are shared. Today's trekking will take somewhere between 5 and 6 hours depending on your fitness level. The journey from Pakding starts off very easy, following the Dukosi River valley below, and above and all around you are surrounded by rhododendron forests. There are several small villages along the way to stop for some food or drinks, like this one in Monjo. As you leave Monjo in the direction of Namche, you enter what is known as the Sagarmatha National Park. To enter, you have to buy a ticket and fill out a form. You will need to show your passport here and provide a passport-sized photograph. Several times you will have to use the suspension bridges to cross the Dukosi River. Locals have decorated the sides of the bridges with prayer flags, although there is no need for prayers, as the bridges are all made of steel and feel very secure. On the far side of this bridge is a village known as Jorsale. There are no shops after this village, and it is advised to stock up on water and food. A short walk past Jorsale, there is a suspension bridge to cross, and after this the trek gets surprisingly difficult. The walk to Namche is very steep and continually upwards. There is no level or downward walking. This section of the walk may take 2 or more hours. People of average fitness may find that they can walk for several minutes only, and then need to take a short break to catch their breath. At this altitude, your body will notice the lack of oxygen in the air. It will be especially noticed if you attempt things like running up a stairs or exert your body in any way. As you reach Namche, you have to pass a police checkpoint. Here they will ask to see the ticket you purchased at the entrance to the Sagarmatha National Park. Namche Bazaar is the most important town in the Khumbu region, the land of the Sherpa people. This town is located at 3,440 metres above sea level. After the difficulty of the last day, you will feel the rest day at Namche is well deserved, but the idea behind the rest or acclimatisation day is to climb high during the day and then sleep lower. This will help your body adjust to the altitude more easily. The most common walk to take on the rest day is to the Everest View Hotel. From here on a clear day there are spectacular views of Everest. This walk should only take around 2 hours, leaving you plenty of time to explore Namche Bazaar. A market takes place every morning in the town centre. Many traders come from Tibet to trade here, on the far side of the Himalayas. Looking from a distance, it looks like a second-hand clothes market, with everything spread out on the ground. But in fact, most of the goods you will find here are new imitation climbing gear. There is a big difference between the tourist prices and local prices, so if you want to buy something here and have a porter or a guide, get them to make the purchase for you. Almost anything you might need for the trek ahead can be bought on the streets of Namche Bazaar. Items like down jackets, sleeping bags, shoes, socks, gloves, scarves, suntan cream, lip balm, tissue paper, maps and water. Namche Bazaar has many internet cafes, making it one of the few places in the region where trekkers can access the internet. The internet cafes connect via satellites, and so the resulting connection speed is slow. The village also contains a German bakery, well known in the region for providing good quality Western food, including pizza. The walk from Namche to Tenboche should take between 5 and 7 hours. It begins with a very steep and tiring walk up out of the village. There is a large amount of construction taking place in Namche, with many new lodges being built. The sound of stone being cut is very quickly replaced with the sound of the wind blowing in the trees and the calming sound of the yak bells. The atmosphere has changed so quickly. Tenboche Monastery can be seen in the distance on a clear day, as well as the summit of Everest. After about 20 minutes walking, the ground levels off and you'll find your pace increase. After an hour or two of level, easy trekking, you have to walk downhill, losing much of the altitude you gained over the last day, so you can use this old bridge to cross the river. But the altitude that was lost must now be gained with a tough 2-hour uphill walk. Most people will stop here and have their lunch before attempting to make the final push for Tenboche. The price of a bottle of soft drinks here might be 50% higher than it was in Lukla, although meals like rice, soup and bread will be mostly the same. The lack of oxygen in the air is really noticeable at this stage. Only the Sherpas seem to be able to scale this steep hill at a reasonable pace. Everyone else is choosing to take it slow and steady. Tenboche village is located at an altitude of 3,867 metres. In the village is an important Buddhist monastery, the largest in the Khumbu region. The structure was built in 1923 but was destroyed by fire in 1989. It is rebuilt with the help of volunteers and the provision of foreign aid. From here there are great views of Everest and Ama Dablam. All the traffic heading towards Everest passes through the centre of Tenboche, so it's a great place to relax and watch all the yaks, porters and trekkers go about their business. There is a large green area in the centre of the village for camping and several lodges to choose from. There is an internet cafe here, but the electricity supply does not always work. There is a bakery in the centre of the village which claims to be the highest in the world, and at nearly 4,000 metres it's easy to believe. The chocolate cakes here are delicious and taste as if they were freshly baked yesterday. The quality in the lodge is a little lower here than in Namche. The dining area is uncomfortable, with the small stove only providing heat to the people sitting directly around it. Most people will eat their food by 7 p.m. and go to bed. The walk from Temboche to Dingboche starts off gently sloping downhill, but shortly after crossing the river, we head uphill and spend most of the day walking along the river valley. Many people visiting this region of Nepal will only go as far as Tengboche, so from here onwards there are less trekkers, porters and yaks along the path. There are some lovely family-run tea houses to stop in along the way, serving up tasty drinks like hot lemon or yak milk tea. Overall, it is an easy but long day's trekking, with the journey taking up to 6 hours. At this altitude, many people will suffer mild headaches and shortness of breath. The village of Dingboche is located in the Chokhung Valley at an altitude of 4,530 metres. Trekkers will usually spend 2 nights in Dingboche for acclimatisation purposes. The village relies heavily on tourists, with lodges and tenting areas comprising most of Dingboche. The Imja River flows directly east of the village. Most people choose to spend the rest day hanging around the village. There is a bar here with a pool table. Expensive internet cafe and satellite phones are available at a high price if you feel like phoning home. The day starts off with a steep climb up the edge of a hill, providing a great view down into the Chokhung Valley, with Island Peak visible at its end. Most people take a short break here and prepare themselves for the long march ahead. Today's walk could take up to 6 hours or more, depending on how the altitude affects you. As you walk along the side of the valley, if you look down to the left at the base, you can see a small village called Periche. There is a medical centre in Periche where emergencies can be treated. For minor ailments, there is a fixed charge. This charge enables the doctors to be able to treat the locals for free. Most of the walking today is along relatively level ground. There are a few signs of civilization along this route, so if you need to refresh with a drink or some food, do so at the nearest available shop. For the last hour or two, the ground becomes steep and rocky until you reach the small village of Lobuche. Compared to places like Dingboche or Tengboche, there is not really much here. 2 or 3 lodges and a camping area make up Lobuche. The village is quite exposed, and the high winds can cause a lot of dust to blow around the village. Because of this, most trekkers choose to relax indoors. The number of trekkers passing through this village can vary greatly, and it is common for there to be no accommodation available. Guests may be asked to share a room with a stranger or even sleep on the dining room floor. There is no way around this, as the nearest lodge is many hours' walk away. Today we have to walk for a little over 5 kilometres. It does not sound like much, but at this altitude it may take anywhere up to 5 or even 6 hours. There is no clear path and you have to walk over loose rocks, which add to the difficulty. The small village of Gorak Shep is actually the original base camp for climbers heading towards the summit of Everest. The small village is located at the base of a peak called Kalapathar, which appears as a big brown bump below the impressive south face of Pommery. Many trekkers in the region of Mount Everest will attempt to summit Kalapathar, since it provides the most accessible point to view Mount Everest from base camp to peak. Due to the structure of Everest, the peak cannot be seen from base camp. The final part of this trek, the 3-hour walk to base camp, is difficult and dangerous. There are several crashed helicopters in the base camp region. Because the air is so thin at this altitude, landing and taking off can be difficult. Unlike the rest of the trek, there is no path to follow here, so it is not recommended to attempt this without an experienced guide. The journey takes us over the Khumbu Glacier, finally ending at the base of the Khumbu Icefall. You can say you are at base camp when you are looking up the Khumbu Icefall. The icefall is regarded as one of the most dangerous stages of the South Col route to Everest summit. Depending on what time of year it is, you may see the tents of support crews for climbers attempting to summit Everest. The months of April and May being the busiest times at base camp.
Actually, we are right now biggest World Heritage Movement, and this is the place, the name is Pashupatinath, we call. That's opposite of the me, there is Golden Temple, and that's the temple name is Pashupatinath. That means it's holy animal place. That's why around here you can see, if you go after, you can see the monkey, cow, dog, snake, rat, tiger, lions, deer and ox. Those are 9 animals not allowed to kill, because those are transportation of our Hindu god as Ganeshas. Like human beings, we have transportation, the aeroplane to far to travel, and for car, taxi, bus. As Hindu god, we have different animals, and they are not allowed to kill, they are sacred. And near the temples, we have the cremation ghats over here, front of me. There is the place which is like a triangles, and almost there is some women are cry, and almost they are waiting for family relatives. And we have totally the 7 platform here, and rest of round platform, that's for meditation. In here we can see 60, 65, and for triangles are cremation, and we burning here for during the day, in one day more than 30 to 35 bodies are, and sometime as well as more also, and sometime as less also, 10 to 15. As in 24 hours we have during the night also, day, morning, every time, because this is the biggest temple. We have 80% Hindus in Nepal, and they cannot bring 80 persons because 10% they are staying mountainside, 10% border of India, and when they die the 20% and almost they are like carry the body, you know, the like a bed of bamboos, and they take bank of any river. And almost we are like 60%, if they die, 40% hospital home, the cremated here immediately, soon as possible. And like 20% we are sick, we go hospital, as doctors say no more hope, and they likes to die, most of people, and they bring in this place here. We have other side, if we go to the next side, we see the white building near the temple, that's the White House, which is people are waiting for die. You can see the near the Red House, opposite of Red House there is white. That's the hospice where the people are waiting for die. Some are they bring from the hospital today morning, they die today evening. Some are they wait for 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. And that house they provide from government, dedicated of government. And there almost doctor, sister, medicines are free everyone here. And if they die, rich are, we burning next side, there is the separate platform for political persons. We burning the body natural material. It's cost 500 kilogram wood to burning for one body, and minimum 10 to 12 kilogram the butter of cow, buffalo, because to pure butter of cow, buffalo, we put between the wood, then body they help to burning fast as fast. And we cannot allow to put like a kerosene, sugar, oil, because that's they made from machine. The human bodies are all over the world, Europe, America, Australia, anywhere people are they born, humans are. Just we have different skin. Some of them they have white, some of them they have black, you know. Human bodies are they made from five natural materials, which is we call air, water, sky, heaven and earth. And we believe if we burning from natural material, then they mix into the air to the air, water to water, dust to dust. That's why we burning from natural material. And after families are, when they come, the body they put near the platform and they cover from white as orange clothes, because we burn the naked, and when we die the families are, they take the priest are higher caste, because before the democracy time we have according the caste system, and right now we don't have any more caste. And that's why all the people are, we believe they are same, equal, you know. And we have this 4 platform 12 years before, and 19, you know, 95 people are so many die, and they have to burn for one body 5-6 hours they have to wait. And that's why the government they build the 3 platform new, and that's why we have 7 platform over there. And almost like when they bring body here from hospital home, you know, when they brought here, then after the family relatives one by one they come queue by queue, and they are offering, they buy some in flower market, flower necklace like red powder, orange powder, and they are offering into the body. And some rich people are, they are wearing, you know, the necklace of gold, and some are ring silver, and that's never burning, you know. And they mix in ash and they push into the river, the ash they push in river, and sometimes they are going to search, and sometimes they found. And that's why they go to searching in there if they are lucky, you know. And some of them not belongs to. This is the river, name is Bagmati, and this is come from the mountain, from the Himalaya. And this is the follows to the Ganges in mix in the Banarasi in India. And this river name is Bagmati, because this is come from the Himalaya, and they went more than 200 kilometers down in earth, and they come from the mouth of tiger. And that's why we call the Bagmati. Bagmati means, Bag means tiger, Mati means water. This is come from inside the tiger mouth, this water. We have 108 temple around in this place, and temple those are dedicated of Shiva. Shiva is the main god, because golden temple is Shiva, the biggest temple around here. And 108 temple, and middle of the temple there is a small statue which is symbol of Shiva we call. And inside the statue they are worship from the like a red color, yellow color, flower. Every day morning 5 to 6 o'clock priests they go inside, they worship from red color, yellow color, incense, candle. That time they rent the belt. We have big belt also, more than 300-400 years old belt. Some are like 100 to 500 years old temples are, because 108 temple there was not built the one king, there was built the 108 king, different time there was built the different kings are.
right now you are in the oldest city of Nepal, and it called in Bhaktapur, and Bhakta it means devotees and Pur means city. So actually until 16th to 17th century in our Nepal we have many separate kingdoms. It's a Kathmandu, Patan and Bhaktapur is the three different kingdom here. So right now you are in the Bhaktapur, and which is the 15 kilometer from Kathmandu valley. So and right now you are in the main square of this place, and it called the Durbar square, and Durbar means the royal palace and square means the area. So in this square you can find the three different architect of temple. So and first one you can find in the pagoda, and pagoda is originally from in Nepal, and second one is the Sikhara, which is Indian art, which is, you can find in southern part of India. So and third is the Stupa, and Stupa is the Buddhist art, and which is found in Nepal also. So in this Bhaktapur city, it is very famous for three different art and architect. So first one you can see in every temple and everywhere here we have a nice wood carving here, woodwork here. So and the people from generation to generation they are making their work as a wood carve. Still now you can see some people they are making here now. And second is the clay pot, the farmer they are making the pottery here. So and third is the painting, and which is very popular in this place, and there is one school, and you can see the 40 artists and 6 teachers from Tibet, and they are making the painting exhibition here. So and this is the three things is very popular in this city. And you see there is a one column, there is the column there, and that's the king. And he is the second last king of this place, and his name is Bhupatendra Malla. So and you have a praying statue inside of the Golden Gate. There is a beautiful temple here as a Kumari, and Taleju temple inside here. We'll go to look there also. And you see these all are the buildings here, and these are the king palace. So when we have a separate kingdom, and that time these all are the buildings, they are the palace here. But nowadays in the government they provide as a national art gallery in the museum. And there is a black window one, there is a fine carving, and which is the 55 window palace here. And you know actually in this pottery from generation to generation they are still making it here. So they have a one wooden wheel, and inside of the wooden wheel they put in the clay, and after that they run by the sticks roundly 2-3 times, and after that they make it by their hand, and this is a typical one. No? And but nowadays they had a modern technique, and they put in the motor by electricity also. They are making the pottery here. Actually, when the people, this is the city, it was the old heritage UNESCO monument. So and some the people when they are making the houses, build a house like this, and the municipality they provide them for the nice woodwork, wooden door and windows for them. And mostly the people they make some statue and the small windows and like that, and the tourists, mostly the tourists, they come here and they will buy it from them. Mostly our incoming shows, some more than 80% people they are the farmer here in Bhaktapur city, and some people they do as a business. Normally the people we are from in Tibet, out of Kathmandu valley, they are the lamas, they are living here in the town, and they had a school of the art, and they will make it the art and they sell it to the tourists, and they live their life now. And actually the history, we have a full of history in these places, no? And you know in Nepal we have a separate kingdom. So at that time when we have separate kingdom in the Kathmandu valley, so this is the capital city of Kathmandu valley. So there is a one king and he have 3 sons, and they all want to be the king, no? And he divide the 3 different states as a Kathmandu, Patan and Bhaktapur. So after that we have 3 states here. So until during that time we have only one kingdom, and this is the capital city of Kathmandu valley. So when he have 3 brother son, and they are 3 brother, and they all want to be the king, and king he divide the 3 different states. So and you can see there is a big bell every Durbar square when you go to here. Yeah, and there is a big bell, and because of that bell we don't have a communication here. In that time we didn't have a satellite, no radios, no television. So when the something problem and people they rang the bell, and everybody know about the problem and they are curious and they will stay at the home now during that time. And it is altogether we have a 6.0 square kilometer in this city.
Bouddhanath is an ancient religious complex on a hilltop in the Kathmandu Valley, west of Kathmandu city. It is also known as the Monkey Temple, as there are holy monkeys living in parts of the temple in the northwest. This is one of the most sacred sites of Buddhist pilgrimage in Nepal, second only to Bouddhanath. The site has two access points, a long stairway claimed to have 365 steps leading directly to the main platform of the temple, which is from the top of the hill to the east, and a car road around the hill from the south leading to the southwest entrance. As you begin to climb these steps, you will see brightly painted statues of the Buddha sitting cross-legged in a meditative pose. In early morning there are usually Tibetan women lying face down on the ground as a token of humility and adoration. The first sight on reaching the top of the stairway is the Vajra. This is a large golden object that is believed to represent firmness of spirit and spiritual power. The complex consists of a stupa, a variety of shrines and temples, including a Tibetan monastery, a museum and a library. The stupa has Buddha's eyes and eyebrows painted on. Between them there is something painted which looks like a nose, but is in fact the Nepali symbol of unity. There are also shops, restaurants and hostels. On each of the four sides of the main stupa there are a pair of big eyes which represent wisdom and compassion. Above each pair of eyes is another eye, the third eye. It is said that when Buddha preaches, cosmic rays emanate from the third eye, which acts as a message to heavenly beings, so that those interested can come down to earth to listen to the Buddha. Each morning before dawn, hundreds of Buddhist and Hindu pilgrims ascend the 365 steps from the eastern side that lead up the hill, passing the golden Vajra and two lions guarding the entrance, and begin a series of clockwise walks around the stupa. Facing the steps which climb the hill from the east is the first of 5 ornate shrines set into the base of the stupa. Each shrine, protected by a heavy metal gate, contains one of the Dhyani Buddhas and their consorts. The Dhyani Buddhas preceded the historic Buddha who was born near the present-day city of Lumbini in the Terai region of Nepal. Each of the Dhyani Buddhas faces one of the cardinal directions, with the fifth, slightly to the left of the east-facing Buddha, representing the Buddha at the centre of the compass. Each of the 5 shrines is surrounded by exquisite gilded copperwork, for which the Kathmandu Valley is renowned. Between these shrines, facing the sub-cardinal directions, are shrines containing the consorts of 4 of the Dhyani Buddhas. Linking the 9 shrines is a long wall of prayer wheels and butter lamps. Bouddhanath Stupa is not only the largest stupa in Nepal, but also one of the largest stupas in the entire world. For centuries, Bouddhanath has been a centre of attraction of Tibetan Lama Buddhism in Nepal. This white pagoda that stands 36 metres on its feet falls in the way of the ancient trade route between Bihar and Tibet, and that is why it was the focal point for the caravans that passed either way. Tibetan merchants and hermits have rested and offered prayers here for many centuries. This place saw a major influx of refugees in the early 50s. It was the time when China redrew its boundaries and declared Tibet as its integral part. A mass exodus followed, and many of the refugees settled in the area around the Bouddhanath Stupa. They established many gompas, and the Little Tibet of Nepal was born. This Little Tibet is still the best place in the valley to observe and study the Tibetan lifestyle. Monks walk about in maroon robes with prayer wheels in their hands, and the rituals of prostration are presented to the Buddha as worshippers walk around the stupa. The second and third generations are sadly moving away from the Tibetan culture and are intermingling in the Western world. Like all other monuments in Nepal, it is very difficult to zero in on one date of construction. Nevertheless, the majority of people believe that Bouddhanath was constructed in the 5th century. The stupa is said to entomb the remains of a Kashyap sage who is venerable both to Buddhists and Hindus. The area around the Bouddhanath Stupa is a feast to the eyes, typical to all Tibetan Buddhist sites.
You are now in Patan Durbar Square, one of the second largest city of Nepal. It is historical city. In Nepal has 3 historical city, which are Kathmandu Durbar Square, Patan Durbar Square, and Bhaktapur Durbar Square. We have written history 700 years before Christ. 300 years after Christ was Kirati period. In Nepal, the Kirati dynasty, their faces were like Chinese, Korean, Japanese. They had ruled Nepal 1000 years. Particularly 250 years before Christ, one of the famous Indian emperor Ashoka came in Nepal, and he had established one pillar where the birthplace of Buddha is Lumbini. Here in Patan, 4 stupa which are indicated: east side, west side, north side, south side. So if you go from here, it takes 20 minutes. It is the evidence of first dynasty of Nepal. This temple is Shikhara style temple. We call Chinese, Tibetan, Nepali style temple, all made by stone. This temple is dedicated to Krishna and his girlfriend Radha Krishna. Krishna has 1600 girlfriends. Krishna is God of love. This temple will be open only one day after Krishna birthday. This year we had 23rd of August Krishna birthday, and 24th of August was open this temple. All public people enter and worship. The god of love, Krishna. That temple was built 1637. It had taken time to complete. 18-year construction were started 1620 and it was completed 1647. It has 21 pinnacles, all are gold plated. One of the famous Sikhara style Indian Mughal influence we call, all made by stone. Here will be great festival, occasion of Krishna birthday. 23rd of August was Krishna birthday. Patan is very famous for wood carving, metal carving. So what you can find here, all qualities are world class. Most of the talented artists are staying in Nepal. All they are producing nowadays, like brass, copper, bronze, wood carving, or like painting like tankas. All they are manufacturing in Patan, and from Patan they can export to Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, any other part of Nepal.
Chitwan National Park is situated 90 kilometres southwest of Kathmandu. Widely acknowledged as one of the best national parks in Asia, covering a pristine area of 932 square kilometres, it is the first national park of the country. Established in 1973 to preserve a unique ecosystem of significant value to the entire world, the park is situated in the subtropical inner Terai lowlands of south-central Nepal. In the northwest section of the park is an island known as the Bandarjola, which is surrounded by the Narayani River. This unique island consists of a forest, tall grassland, marshland, numerous inlets and oxbow lakes. It is here that this jungle resort is located, offering the opportunities to experience the exciting life of the jungle. Visitors have ample opportunities to see a wide variety of big game and avifaunal species. Inside Bandarjola, you will experience wildlife at its best, as the topography of the forest, interspersed with large tracts of grassland, together with plenty of water within proximity, makes it a perfect setting for wildlife to thrive. The elephants seen frequently at the park are trained and tamed. The tamed elephants are used for elephant rides as well as to carry heavy loads in Chitwan. Every day the elephants will be brought to the river for their wash. Visitors will be invited to climb on board the elephants and experience the famous elephant shower. The Jungle Walk Tours allows you to explore several different habitat areas, from the floodplain grassland to the dense sal forests, where you can get a great opportunity to spot animals at your own pace. Since it disturbs the animals less to walk through the forest, you usually have a better chance for discovering wildlife. When walking through the jungle, you will also get a chance to see the different kinds of plants and herbs in the national park. While taking the tour, it is common to come across holes in the ground dug by the sloth bears.
Bear? Yeah, it's a bear dig the hole especially for the termite. It's quite a fresh one.
At this stage of the walk, we are surrounded by 3 bears, which can be a frightening experience as the guides are armed only with wooden sticks. One of the best ways to view the flora and fauna of Chitwan is by taking a safari ride on an elephant, as it enables you to penetrate deep into the jungle through tall grasslands. Seated high on the back of a trained elephant, exploring the grasslands and core area of the park, you become an integral part of the life of the Chitwan National Park. The elephant safari, though not the most comfortable ride, is an amazing experience, and it doesn't take long to spot at least a rhino in these forests. The park is home to the great one-horned Indian rhino, the world's 3rd largest land mammal. They feed on grass, which is also their normal habitat, and move alone or in groups. A dugout canoe ride over the shallow rapids of the Rapti River flowing through wide grassland gives you the opportunity to view exotic species of birds. Crocodiles can be seen basking in the sun along the banks of the river, but always from a safe distance. The canoe ride lasts about 45 minutes, and it can be incredibly relaxing, listening to the swish of the water and the sounds of the birds singing. The best time to take the canoe ride is either at sunrise or sunset, when the skyline can be spectacular.